Hey everybody, Ian Lee here. Hope y'all are doing well, wherever you're watching this video from or whenever you're watching this video. Today I want to reflect on John Coltrane, the great jazz saxophonist and profound musician. But I don't want to reflect on John in the way that we might typically reflect on John. I think usually when we hear about Coltrane, we hear about his musicianship in the sense of the way he used pentatonic scales, his lines, his phrases, the way he played over blues, giant steps. How can we learn to play over such a challenging tune and improvise at 300 beats per minute, right? That's kind of what we typically hear about. But what I want to talk about is what John Coltrane was trying to present, and I don't even want to say trying, because I think he did this very genuinely and authentically. What he offered to the world in terms of his spirit, his mentality, what he gave to the listeners and still gives to the listeners through his energy, his sheer force, his presence, and perhaps what that can mean for us in our own musical lives. Let me read a quote from John really quick, and then we'll go a little further. The quote is, "I want to be a force for real good. In other words, I know that there are bad forces, forces that bring suffering to others and misery to the world. But I want to be the opposite force. I want to be the force which is truly for good." Now, that's such a beautiful line, and it states so much about what John was trying to express and bring to the table through his music. And I think we can do the same thing. I find that when we hear about, or, I know for myself, I'll just speak from my own perspective, I've gotten caught in, how do I sound? What were the licks that I was playing? Did that thing I've been practicing come out the way I want to do? How do I use this mode here? What about this scale? We get so caught in the notes, the theory of it all. It's very easy to forget about what are we bringing to the table in terms of our expression, our artistry. What are we trying to present to the people in the room? Because at that point, another great Coltrane quote is, you can play a shoestring if you're sincere enough. And what that essentially means is, if we're bringing all the right stuff to the table, what does it matter? And can we be that light in the room, in the jam, in the practice room, at the gig? Can we uplift the environment? It doesn't matter if you're playing for 5 people or 50,000. Can you take the environment and leave it better than when you found it? Can you bring light to the situation? Can you bring love to the situation? I think these are things we could reflect on more, even if you're already reflecting on them. I know I could stand to reflect on these things more, and not just reflect on them, but bring them into action. What does that action mean for me? What does it mean in my heart, in my center, to be that musician, no matter what the circumstance or the situation? Can I be that presence in my life so that I touch those around me? Because that's really what I want to do as a musician. I want to play great lines and everything, and I want to sound good, and all of that has a place. I'm not denying that or sweeping it under the rug, but it all should be in service to that greater sense of being, as John says, a force for good. That opposite force. That force that alleviates the suffering and the misery, right? And doesn't become so self-centered. How do I sound? Will they like it? Will I be okay? Did I get the gig? Will I keep the gig? What does all that mean? I think that you'll find this is a really beautiful way to get out of your own head too, when you're playing and experiencing and expressing your music. All right, I want to keep this fairly short, but as per usual, I thank all of you so much for watching and hanging out with me on this channel. I'm really enjoying making these videos, and I'll talk to you all very soon. All right, have a great day.